give it up to Dominik Tarczyński. Come on up, Dominik. Let me see. How you doing, man? Good seeing you, brother. How you doing?
How are you? Patrick.
How's everything? Great
Thank
to see
you
you.
so much.
Brother, go right ahead.
One more time for Dominik.
Yeah. Let him sit in your seat. Let him sit in your seat. Yeah.
Hello again.
All right. So, Dominik, you deal. Rob, if you got one of the clips on his clip, if you know which one I'm talking about, for the audience to recognize who he is, do you know which one I'm talking about? We've showed it many times. How many of you don't yet know who he is? Raise your hand if you're like, honestly, I don't know yet. Trust me, when I show you the clip, you're going to realize who he is. By the way, let me just give you some statistics. Poland, the country, lowest unemployment rate, lowest murder, lowest rape. Right? Am I giving a statement?
Yeah, one of the lowest public debts. First of all, I'd like to say thank you, Patrick. Thank you to you for your commitment, for your service. He cares about the world. I must say that. Say thank you to this man. Yes. Who would have ever thought that the guy from Poland would come on election night to comment on Donald Trump's victory?
Yeah.
Come on! Come on! Trump! 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 Yes, we need a fire. We need to have a beautiful time because we worked. You work on that very hard. You, all of us. Because we love freedom. We want to be safe and successful. And you, Patrick, you are a great example. Thank you.
I love it. I appreciate it. Thank you for that. Very kind words. I want to show you this clip. Dominik,
why do we love Trump in Poland?
Let me show you the clip first.
Yeah.
Let me show you the clip first. Guys, this is poetry. This is made for TV. Rob, play the clip. Go for it. Watch this, folks. Raise the audio.
Earlier, when you think about 100 unaccompanied children, 7 pregnant women on a ship adrift in the Mediterranean while politicians argued, do you not feel a sense of shame about that?
Well, first of all, the shame should be a feeling present within the parents who are, in my opinion, I would say, unmature. They shouldn't take these children. They shouldn't be there. They shouldn't put their children in the risk by violation of the regulations. So that's the first question. Why these parents are not responsible for their children and getting them into this kind of situations?
But
this
once
is
they
absolutely
are,
ridiculous that now...
Okay, but once they are in that situation, don't the politicians of Europe have a moral humanitarian duty to step in?
No. No, because it's not about helping someone who is receiving very hard situation about the war. It's not about refugees, but illegal immigrants. It's a law. It's a difference between illegal immigrant and refugee. And you have to remember that if you would try to cross the border, you would be killed in England, in everywhere else. Well, you cannot cross the border only because it's 100 or 200 of you.
Amen.
So maybe we need to hire Dominik to be the border czar of our border. Shoot, he may be able to do a better job than this other lady named Kamala. I don't know. But Dominik,
to be deadly serious, I tell you what the situation in Poland is. As Patrick mentioned, the lowest unemployment, 0 terrorist attacks. The only country in Europe without any terror attack. You know why? Because there is no illegal migration. 0. So unemployment, the lowest. The lowest debt, public debt in European Union. 0 illegal migrants and highest growth after COVID. That's Poland. Yes, you should clap to the Polish people and our law enforcement because unfortunately one of our soldiers was killed with the spear by illegals by the border. at the border, right? He was killed with the spear. We built the wall. Mr. Trump was a great inspiration, but they managed to kill one of our soldiers. So what we did in a parliament, we passed the law that we can use live bullets now. If you are trying to cross Polish border illegally, if you want to attack our soldiers, you will be killed. Amen. What's happened? The numbers of illegals dropped. What we need? We need Trump. We need a strong man. We need a man who's not afraid to protect our families. He's not afraid. And this is why we love him, because we want to be free and safe. When they ask me, why do you care about America? Why do you care about Trump? Why do you care about these elections? Because I care about my family. And this is nothing unusual. This man will change the world. And we can say, I do hope that tonight, before midnight, we can start celebrating if your machines will not fix, if your machines will work. I was listening to your discussion like an hour ago, why it takes like a week or something to count the... In Poland, it's 6 hours. Like the polling stations are closed at 9, you go to bed, you wake up at 6 or 7, you know who the president is. No problem at all. What about, American technology? It's not about technology, they want it. They want to make it hard, they want to keep and use their chance for the 7 days to work on the results. It's too big to rig. Not this time. So I'm very happy that I'm here because I was elected twice as a member of the Polish Parliament and twice to the European Parliament. At the moment, I am a congressman for the Europe, right? And European Union is falling. And this man can stop this. All this crap, leftists, like gender, like LGBT madness ideology. I don't care who you are, I don't care who you love. Go away, do not touch our children.
Yes.
Is that right? We don't care. It's like, I really like this movement. Now, during this campaign, I'm gay, not stupid. You know what I mean? We don't care who you sleep with, who you love, but do not come close to our children. And whatever happens in America, it happens in European Union 6 months later. So I know if he will stop this, and he says, I'm gonna stop this transition, craziness and madness, we're not gonna finance it, we're not gonna pay for it, it will be stopped in Europe. So what is this election about? For you Americans, it's about your family budget, inflation, World War III. It's about all of us. But there is a common ground between America and Europe, like family values, family safety, children's safety. World War III is one of the subjects. We want peace. And he promised to stop World War III. I mean, direction towards World War III. So it is important. I hope Pennsylvania, what is it now? It's 49%. If he takes Pennsylvania, we can open some nice bottle of some nice drink. So I'm happy to be here with you. Patrick.
I love it. By the way, just so you guys know, very soon Dominik could be the Prime Minister of Poland. There's two names. He is either one or two of people that want him to be the Prime Minister, so we may be seeing a Prime Minister of him being a leader of the country. How many guys would like to see that take place? Fully qualified to do something like that. So I asked this question earlier. And I'm curious to know what you guys will say. Any one of you guys can take this. Candace, you can lead the way with this. Let's say Trump wins. Rob, if you can get the Raskin video ready. Oh, this is Rob, took a bathroom break. He'll be back. Say Trump wins. He's got, what is it, 70 days? How many days is it until the speech being given? How many days is it, 70, 80 days? something like that, because it's December 6th,
If he wins.
January 6th, and then you got January 20th.
Yeah.
Let's just say 75 days left, okay?
Yeah.
During the president-elect season, do you worry phase one? All right, he won. Phase two, during that 75 days, what can they do to not make it official? What games can they play? By the way, a very weird situation that Tikram brought up earlier when we were talking. He said, what happens if all of a sudden during that president-elect season, story comes out Biden is sick? Something happens to Biden. You're worried about Trump getting assassinated. What if Biden gets assassinated during that time, the attempt? Kamala becomes president. I'm just thinking about how an enemy would want to take you down. What can happen during those 75 days until he is finally putting his hand on the Bible for the second time and everybody knows he's the president? Do you worry anything can happen during those 75 days? Candace or Dave, either one of you guys can take that.
I believe they'll try to use the fact that he's been indicted so many times to try to disqualify him. Somewhere they're going to try to pull out the 14th Amendment. They're going to try to use the January 6th thing. They're going to try to use some type of foolishness to try to get the American people to buy the lie that he's illegitimate, and they're going to use that to try to change public opinion. But as long as public opinion holds, they're not going to have a chance at it. But they're going to try it. They're going to say the January 6th committee said this, and therefore he's illegitimate. And we are going to try to go in front of the Congress, and we're going to try to pull out the 14th Amendment about the Insurrection Act or something to try to delegitimize the election. They're going to try it. It's not going to work.
Well, I would just say, like, use history as a guide, right? So, well, first of all, your point about Joe Biden. Look, Joe Biden, this could happen any minute. Joe Biden is so far past the point of being incapacitated for the job that Joe Biden is so old and senile that at any moment he might be removed. I mean this, that could happen any time.
They already said he's crazy.
They already have the power of the presidency, so if Kamala got the power of the presidency, I don't think that changes the equation drastically. But I look at what happened last time. When he won the election in 2016, essentially what they did, right, was that, I mean, they had been spying on his campaign the whole time. They ramped up the investigation, and then they swarmed him with these all the people who double-crossed Donald Trump, all of the awful appointments that he put in. The weakness that Donald Trump has is, everybody says this, supporters and critics alike. He's very subject to flattery. Donald Trump is an egomaniac, and if you tell him how great he is, he loves you. And so what you're going to see is a bunch of never-Trumpers attacking Donald Trump, and then you're going to see a bunch of people like Mike Pompeo, Liz Cheney's pick for defense secretary, going up and bragging about how loyal he is to Donald Trump and telling Donald Trump how awesome he is. So everybody who's a Trump supporter, it's our job from now, assuming he wins, till January 20th, to make it clear that we do not support Donald Trump putting any neocon warhawks in his cabinet at all.
I agree.
None of them. Zero.
I 1,000% agree. I think they already have their option B ready to go, which is an infiltration of the Trump campaign, this populist movement. I have been genuinely shocked to see how accepting he has been of the never-Trumpers. And this idea is that it's unity. No, they weren't with you in 2016. They weren't with you in 2020. They weren't with you in 2024. They were with DeSantis. And then at the very end, they're like, oh, never mind, we're with you. And he's suddenly making time for these like war hawk neocons.
Such as who?
And I think it is an insult, genuinely. It is an insult.
Who are you talking about, like specifics?
I mean, like, I could name a ton of people, but I'll let Dave do that.
Mike Pompeo, David Friedman, those are two to start with right there.
And so when you see that, you're going, is that all it takes? Is just a little bit of flattery? Like they've been against you from these people were willing to have Hillary Clinton be the president of the United States rather than take a chance on you, and they never changed, not one bit. Not when you were president, they kept attacking you. And suddenly when they realize you are the option, they go, oh, we actually like you. We're going to throw some money your way. And you see Trump, he's so trusting and accepting. He's like, oh, I'm bringing people together. I don't trust that. I just do not trust that. And so my concern is that if this populist movement dies, the tombstone of it will read, flattery will get you everywhere, right? Because it's clearly brought them back into the circle, and I'm worried that he's going to have these people giving him advice. Put this person in the cabinet, put this person in the cabinet, and what you're going to have is essentially Liz Cheney's dream cabinet. So that's my fear. Now, the guard against that is we get him over the finish line, and then we hold his feet to the fire, and we say we won't accept it, just like Dave Smith said. So
you know what I
I'm
would
still
say?
optimistic. We just have to be vocal that we're
Right.
not going to accept neocons and never Trumpers running the Trump show.
Here's what I would say. Here's what I would say when I watch, like, for example, in sports they say, matchups makes or breaks whatever the fight's going to be. Like, who am I matching up with? If I play against a certain team, I'm going to use a different strategy than another team, than another team, than another team. The same strategy may not work in 3 different elections. I think the one thing that I like about what he did with this one here, here's a guy that during this time, the last 2 years, not the last 2 years, probably the last year and a half, a big part of Israel, Hamas, Muslims, oh my God, Israel owns him, Muslims own him, this person's this, he's a Muslim, he's a this. All of this stuff that went on, that tensions went very high the last 12 months. I think we all know what we're talking about. We saw this, it was everywhere.
One of the best decisions I ever made in my life was joining the U.S. Army. When I served the 101st Airborne Division Air Assault, the level of pride of America being the greatest country in the world went to the roof. If you are a veteran, or if you support veterans, you have family members, Veterans Day, we have brand spanking new gear for you to choose from, a whole plethora of options of what to choose from, with shirts that say we support armed veterans, I am an armed veteran, dog tags, shirts, hats, all of the different gears that we have. And for the first 250 people that place an order, you have the option of 12 to 15 brand spanking new mugs that we have. One says Angry Patriot, another one says BizDoc, another one has got the US flag, another one has PBD Podcast or Valuetainment or A Future Looks Bright. Go to vtmerch.com, place your order for Veterans Day. These things are going to go very quickly, and you'll get a custom mug that'll be sent your way.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.